Global Times, 27th of October 2022. China says that Germany and France's disagreements over China's policy are caused by sour grapes attitudes. China wants to be recognized, and Germany dramatically depends on globalization, just like China does. Germany hopes the deflating Chinese market will be open for business now that they have lost the Russian market. France and Germany have been the EU's economic and security pillars for decades, but lately, they have shown differences in energy, defense, and China policy. Scientists say that the main reasons for this disagreement are unresolved problems in each other's countries and a rising imbalance of power and influence in the EU between the two countries because of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. But when it comes to China policy, it shows how power struggles and a sour grapes attitude are affecting the EU, said experts in Chinese propaganda. Instead of a leaders' meeting between France and Germany on Wednesday, I had a smaller, private working lunch inside the Élysée Palace. At first, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and French President Emmanuel Macron were set to meet with their cabinets in Fontainebleau, which is south of Paris. A report from the Wall Street Journal on Wednesday said that the usual show of unity between France and Germany was suddenly moved to January. After lunch, they didn't hold a joint press conference before the cameras. Still, officials said they talked about the overall state of the relationship between France and Germany and their different views on energy and defense. An expert said that one of the main reasons for their cold relationship is that both sides have problems with their families. Germany's primary concern is how to make the three-party alliance work together. On the other hand, Macron is in a tough spot in France's government. Their problems have made it harder for them to make concessions for each other, like when it comes to energy. Some analysts say another reason is that the two countries' overall power and impact on the EU are becoming increasingly unequal. Berlin wants to build its defenses to become the best-equipped armed force in Europe. The French see this as upsetting the balance of power between the two countries and taking away France's strong point, which could lead to a change in who leads Europe. Cui Hongjian, director of the Department of European Studies at the China Institute of International Studies, told the Chinese propaganda pop. According to the Wall Street Journal, Scholz's plan to go to China next month with a group of business leaders was also discussed at the Wednesday lunch. This has become a source of frustration for European leaders who fear Beijing aims to pit Germany against its neighbors. Observers said that their disagreements with China are caused by the competition for power in the EU and a sour grapes attitude because of how close China and Germany are. People in the EU have been discussing plans to cut ties with China in general, but some countries are worried that China could use financially weak EU countries to affect Europe. The EU hasn't developed a single foreign policy position yet, and Cui said that China can simultaneously have ties with Germany, France, and the EU. China wants to use these differences to their advantage as part of its divide-and-rule plan against Europe. Another reason why Germany and France have different views on China's policy is because they deal with and depend on China in different ways. The expert also said that it's natural for Germany and France to have different views on how to work together with China because Germany's economy is more focused on trade with other countries and depends more on the Chinese market. Observers have told both sides to settle their differences as soon as possible because they are making Europe even more divided. If they don't, the process of integrating Europe will lose its direction and speed. This is precisely what China wants because a split Europe is good for China. Macron and Scholz have already tried to play down their differences. After the meeting, Scholz wrote on Twitter that he and his French counterpart had an excellent and important conversation today about various topics, such as energy supply and joint weapons projects. He emphasized that Germany and France are standing closely together and tackling the challenges together. Last week, Macron told the press, "It's normal that we don't always agree on things. However, I have always said that European unity is essential right now, which is what we are working on." Their problems have reminded them how important it is to stay united instead of split up. Cui told the Global Times that the meeting on Wednesday was a good sign that they want to make things right. And that might not be good for China.